Yo, welcome to. We are streaming round two, I believe, of the Smite Prime tournament at the moment. And we have in this matchup Potpie versus Mace to the Face. I'm Jake from the Slow Zone. I'm here with Sinbreed. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Eager to catch some games.
Me too, man. Me too. So let's see how it's going.
Yeah, I mean, Potpie is rocking the raw skin. Like, that will have to give him the advantage from the start, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, who doesn't want the skin for Ra at the moment?
Definitely. But he does have a Bastet here that's actually got Sion, which we'll see if that actually going to play some roles here for Mace to the Face, or if it just was something that he felt was like necessary to take care of from the start.
Yeah. I mean, who do you think's going to be pulling this here?
From my experience, like Potpie has like the experience right now. Mace to the Face has the accomplishment of going to Valencia, but Potpie was the one that won the Valencia, and we haven't seen really Mace to the Face in any tournaments after that. So exciting to see him back into the scene here and see what he can pull out.
I mean, he is rocking the Eggy Bread avatar.
Yeah, so he does have the 12 wins in arenas. Let's see if he can like get them 12 wins in this tournament here as well then. And also, if we look at the hands here, there's like an interesting card here as we just see us played. Fist of the Gods is for 1 mana and the stuns target unit. That's quite interesting to see. I haven't seen that card actually in a long time. What do you think about that card?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of. It's not normally a card that I would consider putting into decks, to be honest. I just sort of, you know, don't. I generally play sort of quite safe and stick with what I know is currently in the meta. I'm quite interested to see how he's going to use this to his advantage.
Yeah, it might be just a card for him to like buy some time and or make a good trade or something like that. I'm curious to see if it's just a one-off maybe, or if he actually runs the 2-of in his deck.
Yeah, I mean, I generally would probably go for a 2 over the Fist of the Gods. There's other cards that I would probably rather pick, but we'll see.
Yeah, in my experience, the raw list is a very, very tight list. There's not much you can change from like the top tier list that we see from guys like Potpie, Kenneth, those kind of people. Yeah. So we'll see what Mr. Face here, if he has something else that will surprise us. So we do see the Sobek here. He can go for a second Sobek to get starting to buff up here and avoid the Warcry that's been shut down by the Anher here on Potpie's side as well. So would you play up here, or would you just Magma Slam Anher?
I probably wouldn't play the Thoth just yet. I think I would hold off.
It seems like Mace of the Face is agreeing with you as well here. So if we take a look at Potpie's hand, he does have the Anubis and Blademaster and Annihilation, a very, very strong cards by themselves. And he will have access this turn for all but the Blademaster in his hand, and he draws the Execute as well.
Yeah.
So the Anubis comes out, puts down the field here, and just roots the Sobek here. I don't really like that right there. I would probably go for Execute just to take it down more clearly. Now he opens a chance for Mace of the Face to just like make some good trades here.
I mean, he's got quite a nice bit of wiping power there, though. You know, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think the Execute would have been better used then. That's what I would have been more comfortable with playing, I think.
Yeah, same here. He could go for a Sobek plus Khepri here and get two huge Sobeks on the field and keep up the pressure on Popeye here.
Yeah, there we go. And that's them coming out. I mean, they're going to be... he's going to have to deal with those.
Yeah, and I think he has to use the execute next round here. And also the Sobek that he did put 3 damage into is back at 6 health as well, so it's out of range from his Anubis as well here. So he might actually do Annihilation plus an attack from Anubis here to just clear out this board. And that does leave 3 cats and 1/5/7 Sobek on the field. Do you see any other lines of play there that you would prefer?
No, I mean, I think playing the Annihilation would probably be the best move at the moment.
Yeah, he has to deal with both of these as well, so he has to take some odd plays, I think, here. And he's gonna go for a Magma Slam. That's quite interesting, actually. Here, we'll see if.
I mean, he's dealt with the inherent threat anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's just that there's gonna be another Sobek that's gonna be a little bigger than the last one here, coming up to hit his stone as well. He could go for a Blade Master here, or Ritual Tribute plus heal. Maybe he gets his Sobek back and can start all over again.
Yeah. I think is the Sobek is the only god in the graveyard at the moment?
I believe so, from Mace to the face side. Popeye, I believe, has a Bastet in his graveyard right now. Also interested to see here if Mace to the Face has.
There's the Annihilation.
Oh wow, that's a really early Annihilation here. I think this opened up.
I feel like I should have held on to that a bit longer.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, this opens up a better Annihilation from Popeye side this coming turn here.
Yeah.
So he can Annihilation and then just heal. Oh, he's gonna go for an Execute. If I'm Mace to the Face here, I do not believe that Popeye has Annihilation in his hand, actually. So he might be selling this to Mace to the Face here.
Yeah. I mean, if he is, he's doing it well. I mean, clearing that there in the one turn is at least getting that big card off of the board.
Yeah, and we'll see if Mace plays something that has, like on the Ritual Tribute or something like that, that could get punished by it. Yeah, he want to keep up the pressure here. He does have the FOF as well as like a backup plan here if something that's quite big would hit the board Popeye side. But I don't know, actually, don't do anything. I think he's...
I don't know what he's going to do here.
Now, I think Mace to the Face has...
That's it, yeah.
His mirror match here. Because he can Blade Master and get those 3 health back, but he cannot clear the other Blade Master on Mace to the Face side here. And so it would do nothing. Annihilation would kill not all of them.
No.
And there's the Galgame. So Mace to the Face.
I think there's a couple of things that sort of spectating, that we discussed that we would probably have done a little bit differently. Do you think that would have been enough to swing in the game?
I mean, Mace to the Face did have a very strong hand, so not 100% sure, but I think he might survive 1 to 2 turns longer.
Yeah.
But what's your take on the match?
I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I think the curve that Mace to the Face had and how he played it out, it works really well. And I think he sort of really carried through that and kept the pressure on.
Yes, definitely. So we'll be right back with the game 2 here, guys, as soon as the players get into the match.
Okay, so here we're back then with match 2. Let's see how we play out this time. And we've got Popeye running as Al Putch this time, and Mace of the Face with Zeus.
Not quite. Odin.
No, Odin, sorry. There we go. Correction there, thank you.
No problem, man. I got you back.
What do you think about this matchup then?
Well, this is interesting to see if Mace of the Face is running the aggro list or the more mid-range list that have been a little more popular since the last tournament that we saw happening last week here. So from his hand, I would say it's more of a mid-range slash a little aggro-ish. He does have Blade Masters, but he does have Double 4 as well, which is a very aggressive card.
Yeah.
So I'm interesting to see how it's going to play out here.
I'm expecting to see some quite aggressive plays here.
Yeah, we do see it there. The Gift of Moon takes out the Xbalanque. Oh, and the Violet we see in the hand of Popeye as well. This card hasn't seen much play since its release, but it did get a small buff with its attack going from 2 to 3. It has an interesting mechanic as well with the bubble effect. So when it takes damage, to ignore that damage, and then the second time it takes damage, then when it takes the real damage.
I think this is I think the Orwix is quite an underrated card, to be honest. I favour it quite a lot. I think it can be a really nice card that you can use to sort of push quite hard.
Definitely, I agree with that. I think it's been just pushed out right now by the other cards, basically, just the mid-range style or the aggro style that Alparsh has been bringing in the tournaments this far.
Yeah. And there we go, we see quite an aggressive push here.
Yeah, and we also see that Skadi has to move up to the Summoning Stone to attack it as well, just because the Xbalanque before played the moon side of his doubles with 2 decisions. So that just puts it at a melee range character.
Yeah, I mean we've had the Blight pull out there. That's cleared the deck, and now we're back with another aggressive push.
Definitely.
He's keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, so we'll see here if... Okay, that Blade Master to answer the 4 here. Bring that zombie out of range from the 4 as well, so it doesn't get extra damage.
That was a nice move, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We do see a Runestone in Mace to the Face hand as well. So we might see some combo potential in the late game with just a lot of charged minions, just to finish this game off.
And we've got to raise the grave canal now as well.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't have that right after the blight.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he can like restore a big zombie count here.
I mean, that's probably one of my favourite combos. Hitting the blight and then popping the raise the grave right after.
Yeah, and then you follow up with Gamazots.
That's it, yeah. You know, that's such a nice play, I think, from the push combo.
Definitely.
So everything has been dealt with.
Yeah, but we have Emir plus Red Tusker here coming up soon. In the next turn, he can go Runestone, Red Tusker, and Emir. The Red Tusker and Emir will have charge as well. So he possibly can push a lot of damage in the next turn here.
Yeah, he is going to be keeping the pressure on with more aggressive plays.
Yeah, and we do see Gamazots come out here, eating those zombies just to buff himself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's been played more defensively than anything, which I don't know whether that was the best play, but I don't know what other choice he had.
Yeah, he does have the option to go for a Krabraken and an Avilex actually. So
he has got the 2 Krabraken, yeah.
So he could have gone for that, but I think he just wanted to have a big minion on the board after clearing that 4.
Especially how he's positioned it now as well.
Yeah, definitely. The Science gonna go out on the Runestone here, so no more charge from Mace to the face.
Gotta love that Chaos Spawn.
Yeah, it's one of the first units that was introduced to the game as well, I believe. And it's still see a lot of play just because of the Science Mate. It's very, very strong. It deals with almost anything on the board as well. So
I mean, 3 mana and you've got 2/3 with the silence. You know, I mean that's a card that sees a lot of play in most decks.
Yeah, it's just so versatile that also I think it's a necessary evil as well. Like every Pantheon has the access to a silence effect. The only one I believe has it is the new one in the Chinese Pantheon with the card silence at the moment.
Yeah.
So we see here Procbite has a handful of cards here. Well, Mace to the face, he's all run of cards out of his hand. So he has
this isn't a nice position to be in, no. But yeah. I mean, look at what he's got on the board. I don't think he really needs to worry about this at the moment.
Yeah, I would probably go for like a zombie plus blood bond here and try to take out one of these 3 threats, but there is a chance that it will hit one of the runestones as well, so I believe Procbite do not want to take that risk right now.
Yeah. I mean, blood bond's such a great card.
Yeah,
that's definitely one that I put in my decks.
Yeah, I run 2 as well. So for those viewers who doesn't really know what Bloodbond does, is it sacrifices a random target minion, or structure in this case, on both sides and leaves a 1/1 zombie after it. So if your opponent has 1 big minion in play and you spawn a zombie in Bloodbond, it's guaranteed to trade your zombie for their big minion and at least 2 zombies for your Gamazots or raise the grave afterwards as well. So let's see here, he picks up a Surtur, so he can push a lot of damage. Let's see, that's 4, 7. That's 10 damage to the stone this turn. Doesn't look like Mace will go for it though.
No. I'm wondering what he's thinking here. He looks like he's pulling it back.
Oh wait, the Gamazot's ability. That's why. It's in an awkward place for the... Actually there. Because the Surtur is going to trigger both of the Krabrakens here.
Yeah, I see, yeah. That was a good move then. Moving out of range, just so that we can get into the next turn.
Yeah, and it's now he's gonna push a little more face damage here, bringing this stone for Procbite down to 8 health. Whether his own is at 25. It hasn't been touched this whole game yet.
He's making me nervous. He's still got quite a few cards that I think could be quite effective, but he hasn't put them out like I thought he would.
No, I think he has just been like he doesn't have the luxury of time in this matchup. So I would think like a double of Velix here would be a good way to start off. Just try to block your own 3 middle lanes here and just secure those basically, so the Mace of the Face has not like a free avenue of attack with his cursed warriors.
Yeah, I mean, he also knows that Mace of the Face isn't going to have anything to sort of really effectively deal with it straight away.
No, he already used his 2 4s. I believe he might have a Blade Master left. Oh, the Fire Giant gets strong here.
There we go.
See, can he? I do not believe he can push through.
No.
Lethal yet. He has 2 points off, I believe, right now. So he's just gonna go face here and hopefully open up the board maybe here.
There we go. Oh. That one zombie down.
That was the best hit he could have with that Ratatoskr shot as well. So that's open up all 3 avenues for his fire aims that comes out of this Fire Giant. Yes. Potpie gonna say GG here.
There we go.
Tap out of the game.
Man.
So Mace to the Face comes back. Man, he beats the Valencia champion Potpie in his return. Definitely. So let's see.
We've got match 3 now then.
I believe that's what's 2-0 for Mace to the Face actually.
Oh yeah, so it is. That's it. So Potpie. I didn't see that coming.
No, Potpie out in the second round of this tournament. I think that's the earliest he's been out on any tournament in his whole career almost here.
I must admit, I mean, looking at that bracket, I thought that Potpie was probably one of the ones with a good chance of going through to the end.
Yeah, he does have Baconator, who's still playing UK right now, and we know that Baconator is also one of the veterans players from the NA scene, and I mean, he's one hell of a player as well, so Mace of the Face might have a really tough opponent in round 3, but Baconator needs to get through UK and Tay2 if he wins that match as well to play against Mace of the Face. So we'll see in a little bit here on who's going to go up and play versus Mace of the Face in round 3.
And we've got most of the round 2 matches, I think, are finished now. It is just that last match, isn't it, that we're waiting on?
Yes, I believe so.
A couple more. So looking through here, we've got C4 is still.
All right, C4 is in its tournament as well.
Best wishes. Good luck.
Okay, so we're back again with round 3 now, and this is the Smite Prime, the Hand of the Gods full circuit, and we are in this matchup with Arlo versus Erratic. I'm Jake in the Slow Zone, and I'm here with Sinbreed. How you doing?
Doing good. Excited to catch another game, man.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, man, that last game that was an interesting matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And now we see our push against a Raw here.
Yeah.
So, a little info actually about Arlo. Arlo is the guy who won last week's high-risk tournament as well. So he got a little bit of curve here to see that he's not just a one-hit wonder. And as far as I can see, he's doing well.
Awesome.
I'll show them true strength.
And there we are, straight out with a Cabrakan.
Yeah, Cabrakan is very, very strong. If you can get it up to the enemy summoning stone and just keep it there, it's just gonna tick away at it and at a faster rate than like most people think. It's like, oh, he's gonna do 2 damage, that's fine, but it all adds up in time.
Yeah, it certainly does.
We do see a Tomb Warden as well here on Erratic.xe's side. Interesting to see. Is he gonna use that for like Barter Soul, you think? Or is it another trick you think in his arsenal here?
What's down the Barter Soul was that?
Yeah, with the Tomb Warden.
I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna play with this. I mean, Barter Soul isn't normally a card that I sort of go with. I don't like killing a non-friendly unit, you know, for the 2 zombie draw.
We do see him use it here though. He did the Ritual Strike, so it deals 1 damage to a unit. If that unit dies, it spawns a 1/1 zombie.
Yeah.
And it pops out a 6/5 as well, so it's pretty good value right from the start here.
That's nice, yeah.
Also, that does not give the time for Erratic.exe if he has a Chaos Spawn just to silence that 1/1 then, and he just gets 6/5 out directly for just 4 mana plus the Ritual Strike for 1 mana, so it's a good deal straight off the bat there.
Yeah. We've got for Erratic, he's got an Execute and Annihilation. He's got some nice clear here. He's got the Blade Master as well and the Magma Slam. He's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, he is. It's just that right now there's a lot of health on these minion from Arlo, so he needs to bring him down a bit before the Annihilation can hit. But there's at least 1 more turn coming up here until he gets to Annihilation mana, or perhaps an Anubis turn.
And he's got the zombie down.
Oh, he's gonna use the Magma Slam here, and it's gonna kill his Capri as well.
Yeah. Behemoth.
Okay, so he got the Cabrakan to the stone. That's his like #1 plan right here, I will believe. Start chipping away at it, because Raw is one of the more slow and grindy decks out there right now. Just heals up a lot, and then he has this big burst if he does run the jar combos as well.
Yeah,
here.
I mean he's got a lot of sustain. Not as much as he did before the hotfix came in, but still an awful lot.
Yeah, thank God for that hotfix, I have to say. It was some obnoxious ladder time, I would say.
Yeah. How do you feel about the hotfix? Do you think it was the right change?
I think so. I mean, there's some people that think that you should not have touched appeasement, but I think for now they can fix it and then in the testing see if that was the right call.
Yeah.
And see how. Just take the feedback from the community. That's what we all know Hi-Res from. Like, they care so much about the community and they always like listen to the feedback that everybody's like leaving to them here.
I mean, that's the great thing about high-res games. I mean, he's moved his Kraken around into position here now.
Yeah, and trying to block in the Anhur a little bit here as well. So we see,
Out or take the damage.
yeah, and that's gonna put him in the range as well if he wants to move out this way in the War Behemoth. So he's gonna draw a card at least from that.
Yeah.
Did execute a War Behemoth last turn as well, so he does know that Heretic does not really have any like big removals probably left for it. There's only one execute left in his deck.
Yeah. And he's got the... What has he got? He's got the Sobek, the Harpy, Blade Master. Still got the Annihilation as well.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about Annihilation. This board is why he's taking a little time here, but it seems like he's hovering like a Blade Master maybe here to just finish off this War Behemoth. Oh, it's an Anubis coming out.
Anubis.
The eternal darkness. Crack race.
Oh, Anubis to take out a 1/1. I think he misplaced that and wanted to take out the Cabrakan with that, it looked like.
Yeah. How do you
So-
feel about Anubis? How does he sit in your decks?
I mean, Anubis is one of my favorite cards. He's been around since I started playing this game almost, I think. So, and he's pretty much been the same since the start as well. So he's been very balanced in my opinion. He's a legendary, so he's supposed to be very strong, and I think he's also in a very good place for what he does as well.
And he's cleared there and he's pulled out the Blade Master.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and we see another Tomb Warden in Arlo's hand as well. He's really going for the Tomb Warden plan here, with 2 Border Souls as well, so he can get back two non-zombie cards from his graveyard by sacrificing a non-zombie.
Yeah.
So I believe he wants to sacrifice a 1/1 Tomb Warden, get back 2 cards, and get a 6/5 going as well.
And we've just seen a Blight come out. So he's got the Blight too.
Yeah, so we'll see. He has some options here. I would like to see the Barter Soul plan here. Gets a big dude on the battlefield and gets back some cards. Maybe you want to use the Blight before that and have a chance to get a second Blight. There's one option as well.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that play out.
Yeah, looks like he's going to make a zombie here. Maybe a Barter Soul on the zombie. Oh, it's going to be a Callus that's coming out.
He's
Oh,
going
going
straight
for-
face.
That's interesting. I would think he would go for a trade there. Let's see. Well, the hand of Heretic.exe is not that great. Like, the only really good card he has is the Annihilation here. He can start digging with Elder Harpy, but with that lineup, I think it's gonna be double Sobek here.
Yeah.
Try to get those 2 going.
I mean, it's going to be a waste of the Annihilation here, I think.
Yeah, I think he wants to find some more value with Annihilation before going for it here.
You called it.
See if it will go for 2 damage on the Camisats here or not. I would think not, but we already seen us Heretic.exe kill a 1/1 with Anubis, so we'll see if he wanna do this here just to set up for Annihilation maybe next turn.
I thought for a second there he was going to pull the Chaos Spawn out.
Yeah, that would have shrinked it
Jump for the half.
by 1 at least to a 5/5.
I mean, it still wouldn't have taken it down though.
Yes, indeed. We might see a Chaos Spawn here on one of the Sobeks here, and you can take out the other one with your Camisats.
I think that would be a good move.
Yeah, I
At
think so
least those
too.
2 are off the board then, and it's not something else that he's got to worry about.
Exactly, and then it sets up for a decent Blight as well. But the thing with, I think in this match, I think Arlo wants to wait with the Blight until he sees the Annihilation from Heretic. Oh no, he's actually gonna go for it right now. Oh, this is really, really aggressive here from Arlo.
That's a nice play. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see
How is he
Annihilation
gonna
here now.
respond?
Yeah, there goes the Annihilation. He has a good follow-up at the next turn as well. Either Fire Giant, Chaos Bond, and Ritual Tribute, or whatever he draws as well. So I think that Reddit.exe is no way out of this game just yet, even though his Summoning Stone is down to 9 health. He does have a Sobek going as well, so... And here's the Ritual Tribute.
I mean, there's nothing from Arlo that's gonna be a lethal here. So, but saying that, he's just pulled out the Fire Giant. Still not quite going to be lethal.
No, not yet, but he could go for double Xbalanque if he wanted to, just to kill this Sobek. It feels like he doesn't have a really good answer. If you want to use the Fire Giant just to go for the Summoning Stone damage 4, but it looks like he's going to use it here just to clear out one of the Sobeks. And from past experience, it looks he's going probably go for the stone damage. Yes, he does.
Oh no, I think that's a fair play. I think that was a fair trade.
Yeah, he still has double Barter Soul in his hand as well. He's had those since
he's blocked
the
that
beginning.
Sobek nicely.
Yeah, he has, but the enemy Fire Giant here could just kill both of those, and he gets in for 3, maybe even more damage here. Or he's might actually have to start body blocking a bit here in the Fire Giant if he's scared of like a Blade Master or something coming out from Arlo in the next turn. Taking away the cleave ability here on Fire Giant is a good idea, so he can not like take out 2-for-1 his opponent here as well.
I mean, he's blocked the inherent threat on the stone as well there from the Fire Giant.
Definitely. Gonna heal and make this Sobek huge into 5-6. Looks like a bust.
I mean, we could
coming down.
We could see the Barter Soul in the next turn. Because,
Oh, there was the Blade Master as well, so that could have been lethal if Heretic.exe did not play around that Blade Master here. I do like to probably Barter Soul here, see what you can get back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or let's see, what other plays does he have? He has... Okay, he can walk this into the Bastet, play a Xbalanque, that spawns all the free cats, and then you do another Xbalanque or something like that, maybe? Does not open up the attack path for the Fire Giant though, so...
Death comes by night.
Right, so let's see. Looks like he's gonna go for that play here. Okay, oh, he's gonna go for the 2 more and then another one. Okay, this is smart.
That's a nice move.
That's
a nice play.
Yeah. So he's basically have a lot of lethal targets or lethal creatures on the battlefield for the next turn here. And there is no annihilation on Heretic.exe's side because he already used it, Arlo knows that, and now he goes for the big push in the next turn here. So let's see, he can execute the Tomb Warden, trade his Sobek.
Yeah. I think that's what he's
heal.
going for.
If he heals the Sobek is going to survive. I'm going for a Ritual Tribute here, and that is going to be GG. He's gonna play the Blade Master and end the game 1.
Man, that was pretty close. It looked like it could have gone either way.
Yeah, Heretic.exe was behind almost the whole game. Yeah, but he was never like out of the game at all. It was still a close game. He just never got that like over the edge and like turn the game around.
Yeah, I mean there was some nice plays there from both sides. That was a good game to watch.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna go a short break, and we'll bring you game 2 as soon as it.
Okay, welcome back. We're back with match 2 here. We've got Arlo and Erratic again. Bellona versus Odin.
Yeah, so we got some Bellona action. I haven't seen her in a while.
No, it's nice to see her out.
Yeah, I've been actually playing a lot of her on the ladder, and I do not know why like the top tier players did not bring it to the last tournament. I think she's a very strong leader, and in the Pantheon as well. You have a lot of very, very powerful cards. So we'll see if Arlo can break out the Bellona here.
Yeah, I mean, I really love her for a hero ability. You know, I think you can really sort of make some nice tactical movements with it.
Yeah, and you can screw a lot with your opponent as well.
Yeah.
Like, combat math gets so hard. Like, if I move here, can he blink into range of this? Yes, it's like it takes almost up your whole turn just to think about like all the different plays that a Bellona player can do with your own units.
And there we see the hero power there.
Yeah, so it's got...
Unfortunately, not quite enough there, but...
Yeah, it did get a small nerf a couple of patches ago when it was 3 tiles you can blink. I think it's a little more balanced now with the 2, but... Yeah. I mean, we have to miss it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to miss something when you get used to it.
Yeah, I do miss the old gameplay, man, where there was leaders on the battlefield and everything. But you know, games evolve, and I think this is a very good core gameplay as well. Like, I hope we get some more modes in the future, but we'll see what Hi-Rez has up their sleeves.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit before my time of playing the game, unfortunately, but I've seen some videos of it, and it certainly looks interesting.
It definitely was, I can tell you that much. But here in this game, we are on the Summoning Stone map, in the current patch and everything.
And we've got a Gift of Munin that's just come out. That's a nice card, I do like that. I think that's a really nice arena card as well. Yeah,
definitely. It's very good as well in these very aggressive lists, because usually you can kill something and then it replaces itself just because you play a lot of cards early, so you usually have more cards in your hand than your opponent. So you get to draw a card and that, as I said before, replaces itself. So you only spend 3 mana, and it's a very, very good card.
We've got the double Thor there as well. This this is again, I think we're going to see a really aggressive play here.
I do not know why Erratic did not move up with the soul 2 squares here to attack the stone from Arlo. Now he's just gonna get up to blink them apart for free, basically. That's very interesting, because that does not break the chain if they're still next to each other. So he missed out on 2 damage there. So we see Arlo's hand here. It's full of cards, and
There's some nice cards now.
Yeah, it's a lot of different like plays he can make here as well.
Then we saw the Hercules.
Yeah, Hercules after you shackle something is so good, because you can shackle something with 4 health as well, and that's going to kill it. So it's a very versatile card, and then it's a 5/5 on top of that.
Yeah,
it's
a big body to have out there.
Definitely. And as we can see here, Arlo, with that pull, he spread out all of the units almost from Erratic here. So he might be setting up for a dishonorable turn here next.
And here we see one of the Thors coming out.
Yeah, and it's smart. He's gonna place it next to the Scotty here, so he needs another turn just to get that blink for 2 mana plus dishonorable if he wants to do that. He does have the Blade Master as well he can go for with the mana potion.
Yeah.
He has a lot of plays he can do next turn.
Interesting to see what he's going to go for here.
Yeah, he can also go for a Rain of Arrows, just clear out the 1/1s, and then move in to kill the 4 afterwards. I mean, a Terra wouldn't be bad here either, just stun
he's got 2 of them.
Yeah. So he can stun 4 and Scotty. If he puts it in between him, the 4 and one of the 1/1s, that blocks off of small part from Calder as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the line of play I would have gone for here, and try to separate plus dishonorable, see if there's an opening next turn for that play. We do see an old favorite though in Sylvanas in his deck. I've seen most players have been playing Bellona has opted to almost stray away from Sylvanas because it's a very powerful card, but it's also kind of slow in how it plays as well.
He seems to have quite a mid-heavy deck here. There's quite a mix in.
Yeah, I would believe he's playing a very control list today here, instead of the mid-range that we saw a lot of in a couple of patches ago.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to see.
Definitely. Bellona is one of my favorite Pantheons as well, so I really like that we get to see some more of her. And hopefully we'll see Kenneth if he brings out his OTK brew with Bellona again. That was a treat to watch last week here. But the Freya's gonna come out and vanish.
Gotta be one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, she's a very strong as well here. And it's gonna push a lot of damage to the Summoning Stone here. It still has the second 4 in hand as well, plus a Hell to start buffing up if this would get cleared in some sort of way here.
I mean, this has been really nice fluid play from Erratic. I mean, he sort of, especially to me, I mean, it feels like he hasn't really given Arlo the time to think. I mean, he's following up everything really nicely. I mean, he's fallen into the Terror there.
Yeah, he's basically doing with his owning that what Arlo did last game to him. It's basically saying, oh, you want to have a lot of cards in my hand and you get empty? Let's see how you like it when I do the same to you.
And he's got the double hell here as well.
Yeah, so we'll see if what he opts to play here. I would think he's go... Wait, the 4, is that actually lethal? Yeah, that's lethal with the 4
that's
here.
it.
Battle to be met.
Oh, he's pausing a bit here.
It's almost like he couldn't believe it.
Yes. So it's a 1-1 in this matchup here now, and I'm really interested to see what the both players bring as their third and final deck to this series.
This is going to be an interesting decision.
Definitely. We'll be back as soon as both of those players get into the game, guys. So stick around.
So, welcome back, and here we are with the deciding match, number 3 of Arlo vs Erratic again. And we've got Ra versus Noir. Now, it's nice to see Noir. This is a Pantheon that I've really been digging recently. I really like the control with it.
I can tell you something though. I don't think we're gonna see a control Nova here. This looks like a beast wall. This is going to be very interesting to see. I've tried to make this deck work myself, but I have not found like the right build yet, and we'll see if Erratic.exe actually has here. We also see, yeah, we see a Brontes as well here from Arlo. I mean, that was not getting picked at all in the competitive scene, but in the recent buff that he got from getting a 1 health plus attack whenever a god enters the battlefield on your side, it's seen a lot of play, like just with that small buff to it.
And he's going straight in there, trading with Uguay. Moving up.
Oh, so he was looking for a 3/5 Sobek there. I was interested to see why he actually gone for just the 1 tick damage on Uguay. It's going to get bigger every single turn as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a real it's a real pain of a card to deal with. The longer you leave it, the harder it gets.
Yes, definitely.
Something I generally try to sort of take off the board as early as I can.
Yeah, it's something you have to. It's just gonna be even a bigger threat next turn, and then it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. But we'll see if Erratic.exe opt to get rid of this Brontes here. He could just play a Hyena, then Manifold Blade plus Crescent Blade, I believe, to deal the 4 damage here, and then start moving up with his Uguay to start pressuring Arlo Summoning Stone.
And we see the Hyena come out there.
See, okay,
Go.
So now Arlo needs to prioritize to kill this Hyena here. In the Beastwad deck, it can easily become a 4/4 next turn as well, and then you're gonna have a 6/5 Uguay to deal with as well.
Let us do this, my the book.
I mean, the Hyena's been really quite popular lately.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen it as well in the raw decks when Bastet dies and spawn 3 cats. That's
You've seen another Hyena come out now as well. He's just drawn another.
Oh wow. So Hyena plus Harpy here maybe? Or oh, so good to take out the Sobek. Okay, yeah, I like this. See if he's gonna move up with his Oogway here as well, or if he's just gonna keep it in backline here.
I think. Oh, he is moving forwards.
Yeah, with the move up with the Hyena, I think he has to move up with the Oogway as well. Just because the Faf is just gonna take out the Hyena here for free with his attack. But oh, he actually with that pick up. He's gonna heal here, and then he's gonna deal 2 damage to the Oogway.
There we go.
We shall treat
So he's dealt with that now anyway. We've still got the Hyena out.
Yeah, so we'll see what he actually opts to play here. I mean, Kang is good versus Faf in one way, that is ignores range damage.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he ignores his ability. So it's gonna still be able to do 2 damage if it wants to that Kang. So I think Erratic.exe here is in a little bit of trouble.
The Hyena again. I mean, I don't think that's a bad play. I think that's a good move. I mean, he's got the White Tiger, he's got the Kang still. He's played it back, and he's got the Elder Harpy.
Yeah, he does also have a Sun Wukong in his hand, so he might be setting up these guys in the back line and then go for the bird form and give them double all of their movement speed, and then come in and catch all off guard basically here.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a nice aggressive play to see.
Yeah, with it Harpy up front though, I'm not sure if that's actually what he's planning here. We'll see in the next coming turns here. And again, Faf is showing why he is so good. He basically hits for 5 range damage here.
That's it. Just like that, we've seen the tables turn.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's Reddit.exe who's on the back foot here. See if he can come back here. I'm not really sure what he is running in his list, just because Biswa is basically I would say almost like a fringe deck right now. It's not like you haven't figured out, okay, this is the best build. You have like a couple of cards you can switch out, like you have Himmel's Raw list or Zeus list. This is almost like a new archetype.
Yeah. I'm wondering what he's got planned for those White Tigers that he's got.
Yeah, it's probably therefore in the early game mostly, but he can put the Hyena to a 6/6 if he plays both of them here. That lets him trade off favorably against the Blade Master.
And
That's one of them.
That's what he's going for.
Yeah, he better not put him on the same line as the Hyena here though, as then he's opening up for a Faf next turn as well.
There we go. So the Blade Master's been taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, Reddit.exe is just under the mercy of Faf here.
Yeah,
like he can heal and get both Harpy and the White Tiger off the board here if he wants to.
He's got the Annihilation there as well.
Yeah, I just think that would be overkill here from his side, but we'll see what he opts to do here.
Let us do this by the book.
Oh,
There we go.
double Faf.
Wow.
Not opting for the full clear here. I guess he's not afraid of the White Tiger that he's leaving on the board here.
I mean, the 2 Hyenas are gone now.
Yeah, and that's one of like the bigger threats as well in the mid to late game as well, because you can make them pretty big, like instantly, like make them 4/4s, and there might be a 5/5 to a 6/6 next turn as well.
Yeah.
So, if I was Arlo here, I would be probably most scared of like Dragon King right now, and doesn't really have any good targets for it as well. He can take out 1 FOF, but he does leave a 3/8 FOF on the board as well.
Yeah. I mean, very
yeah,
much feels seeing these that he's got left that. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do to bring this back.
He's gonna start with taking out one of the FOF at least. That's a good start, and see if he maybe can move up and start hitting the other FOF with his Kang, who is immune to ranged. So that's a good start for him, and like he just needs his deck to be kind to him here, given the top decks that he wants, just to close back into this game. But I think that Arlo might just go for the Fire Giant play here and killing off the Kang with his 2 Fire Imps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the play here.
There we go.
That is so frustrating for Redick.exe. I really like his deck as well. It looks very, very spicy as well. And like I want to try it out on ladder. It looks really, really fun to play.
Unfortunately, this time it hasn't had the advantage.
No, definitely not. He doesn't have any good plays here to just to stabilize even. He can bounce something, but like the only thing he can bounce here with Hiba is FOF. The other ones is Warcry, so they're just gonna come back and do something. And the Sun Wukong doesn't help him here. He's in a lot of trouble here.
Looks like he might be going for the Dragon King.
Yeah, that lets him take out the Gab here. Maybe, and then body block the Fire Giant, maybe here? Yeah.
Well, that's the play he's gone for.
Victory.
And that is going to be lethal with the Annihilation.
There we go. And that's what's great about these games here. I mean, seeing sort of the level of play is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arlo is one of the up-and-comers in the scene as well. He did, as I said before, he did win the tournament last weekend as well. So
I mean, he's got nothing
looking
to be
to have a
ashamed
good run
of.
here. Definitely not. And I mean, Erotic.exe, he had a good run as well. He did beat Dr. Sodium, is one of the streamers as well for this game.
Yeah.
So he plays a lot of this game as well. So, like, hopefully we see him back next week.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So we're gonna take a small break to find another match for you guys. And I mean, looking at the brackets right now, we're gonna have a good match. Who matter who we find here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It is your host, a Comcast employee, alongside me is Simbreed, and we got ourselves a fun Battle of the Wits going on here. We got Beelzebub on the Odin to the left, and Singularity on Ra to the right. We've seen Ra kind of come back much more in the meta than it ever has been. Simbreed, how do you feel about this matchup?
Well, I think that Odin is probably their worst matchup because it's just so aggressive, and the Raw players usually just want to set up like a couple of card combos and just get the FOF going and like clear the board. And Beelzebub is just denying the card draw from the Singularity right now.
See, on my end, I feel like that was almost a misplay because So actually, I'll take that back. That tells us something about Beelz's deck. It means he only sees one way of winning this game, and that's smorking. Just, I have to kill my summoning stone, the enemy summoning stone, of course, as fast as possible, because otherwise you wouldn't want to waste a vital resource like 3 damage to any enemy unit on a 1/4 that draws you cards. So Beelz is taking this very seriously. He's kind of scared, but he says, you know what, I have to smork, I have to hit as hard as we can. And to further prove that, we see he has cards like Wind Demon, Ymir, and even like the obviously the Freya, but he has these fairly aggressive guys playing to win with.
Yeah, speaking of unique cards though, there is 2 Fist of the Gods in Singularity's hand right now. I thought maybe run 1.
Running 2 is, I think, the exact reason that Beelz killed him, is the reason why Singularity or killed the card draw, is for the exact reason Singularity has used in this deck. He needs to confirm card draw, and that's why we've seen the rise of cards like Elder Harpy come into play, because Elder Harpy is such a key card because it pretty much guarantees you card draw. And as we're going to see, we're probably going to see some stuns come out. And I mean, he has to, though, because Ymir is such a strong card. I've talked about it in the past before, how Ymir just escalated into this beast of a 4-drop, where it's probably arguably the strongest 4-drop in the game.
Okay, yeah, I can buy that. You also see a Last Breath from Singularity here, so this is a very interesting build, I would say here. Double Fist of the Gods and the Last Breath.
Not quite the target I believe Singularity was looking for. But at the same time, we know that he's going to be running Execute, so he'll be able to eventually take out that Ymir. Again, like I was saying, he's just pushing so much damage to the Summoning Stone, despite Singularity being able to heal up so much of it. I will say, Beelz's hand is not exactly great, right? He had the Anzus, he has the Wind Demon, but that's really all the, I guess, board power he's got, because Freya's board power comes from her ability. You're not particularly concerned about her stats. The Goobus coming out with that hot root.
Yeah, as you said with Freya, like, she's more like, okay, I have some cards in play, I have some units, but I'm getting blocked on one of the sides. Let me just banish that thing, kill something else maybe, and like let my units get through, get that final points on the Summoning Stone, just bring it down.
Yes, Beelz is chanting, "Let my units through." On the side note, do you play the Wind Demon here, maybe? Or like, because you want to kill the Geb, and obviously the Anubis is sitting in the back line. He's going to cause a lot of issues, because even though Thor will soak up an attack from the Anubis, it's not going to fix the fact that he's a 4/5 with range, who's just sitting defending the Summoning Stone at 19 health.
Yeah, I think you have to go and kill the Geb there, or else he's just gonna get healed up, and he's gonna have like a big health pool and still have free attack, which is very relevant against the Odin deck as well, because most things has either 3 or 4 health.
So is the play here to make sure you activate Bronze, because you know his upgrade made him absolutely insane. Now he gets +1 whenever a god spawns, meaning Bronze can pump out a ton of damage unexpectedly. So if you're Singularity, right, do you play the Bronze into the Khepri maybe to clear board, or like, I guess, correction, what combo of cards would you want to see here?
I think the Chaos Spawn is gonna come out just to silence the Ymir, and Anubis probably just gonna take out the 4. I think it's a little bit overkill to use the Capri when your 4 is already in range of your Anubis, who can't get in range of the Emir, and he's sitting behind the Summoning Stone as well, so it's in the perfect position right now. So I would say probably Chaos Spawn and a Bastet maybe here.
No, we're actually going to see the Bronze coming out fairly aggressively, and or I mean, yeah, I mean that's nice. Bastet and a 4/4 for 3 mana, and I want to come back to what you said about the silence. I think Singularity probably could have done that as well, because we know that most, or correction, all fierce cards in the Norse Pantheon, exclusively in the Norse Pantheon, that need to be silenced really come down to Hel and Ymir, and there's not much else. Like, you're not going to silence a Loki because you can't even target him. So it makes perfect sense of that play, but I guess, you know, Singularity validated it a bit differently, which, again, I also see. We're going to see the Purge Omen come out, which is definitely valuable? What do you think of this?
I mean, it's very good when you're gonna set up a Freya play here, and you can take out 2 units for nothing basically here, just because of the Ymir stun as well, other Brontes. And now you can get through to the Anubis with your Ymir next turn as well, if Singularity doesn't do anything about it.
Singularity may have made a small misplay here because he's 1 mana short. Oh, never mind. Take that back. Never mind. That was a fine. I didn't. That being.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. We all goof. We all goof. Even the casters sometimes. I mean, I would take the Soul any day. The Soul's really good, and plus the Runestone, plus the Wind Demon. Is that gonna completely wipe Singularity's board?
Not this turn, but no, he cannot play the Wind Demon, but he's gonna leave Fog with 1 HP. I would like to use it all those 3 cards together next turn, just to get that full clear. Now that Fog is alive, he can kill the Soul or the Freya if he wants to. And there's a Geb as well.
What I would say is, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Beals did make a small misplay because now Thoth can easily trade a Soul if he needs to, and like I would say, while it makes most sense that you would perhaps kill the Freya and get that value off, you know the Soul's going to hit with that AoE. So his only play is either A, to Geb, which won't even save him. So, or no, Geb plus heal would save the Thoth, but. Oh, wait, correct.
Yeah,
I
he
saw
can-
a different play. I stand corrected. He can go Geb and then heal to actually kill the Soul outright without taking any damage.
Yeah, exactly. So you can full clear here and have the Geb plus Foth, and he's in a very, very good position right now. Visible needs to come up with something.
I was actually about to say that Beals' board was good until I realized that Beals made a small misplay and put Runestone on the same row as Soul. And when you, like, normally I'd be like, okay, that's fine, but you have to understand that there's a Thoth on the board. You can't play the game normally when you have a Thoth dealing 2 damage for every time you get heals.
Yeah, playing against Foth, I would say, is a little similar to playing against a Bellona. Like, you have to spread out your things, make sure, like in that matchup, is the Shackles you play around. This is just a big AoE that's gonna kill everything you have on that row. But I think...
Now, I believe...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I believe Singularity does have a full clear if he sees it, and... Oh, yeah, he would have had a full clear. If he brought Geb down by the Summoning Stone, right by Thoth, had attacked the 1 minion, then had healed to kill the Thor. At the end of the day, it still gets the job done, I guess, but now he has a little bit less of a healthy Geb. But if you're Singularity, though, that doesn't really matter at this point. You don't really care about a particularly healthy Geb because you've survived. I always talk about how Norse is a one-trick pony, you know? They have an aggressive start, but unless you're running a full-on mid-range, which, you know, Beals isn't, obviously, by his deck, if you don't get to that, if you can't kill him quickly, you lose the game. No matter what card you draw. Like, Wind Demon and Pace and Fatalis are not going to save you here. The only thing that could possibly save Beals is a Loki top deck. That's the only possible option.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Haste of Fatalis. I'm almost 100% sure that it almost has to be a Loki in his deck somewhere. But he needs to draw it next turn, or it might be too late almost, because Singularity is gonna push a lot of damage here with this the Sobek as well. It's gonna get like really big here.
I mean, you're on point right there. Sobek is a very intimidating 2-drop, especially because you playing around him involves. That was a big Thoth move right there. Playing around Sobek means I'm not going to damage any of your units, which is actually how you lose the game. So, you know, Beals is always up against that corner. Actually, correction, everybody's always up against a corner when you have it Sobek on the field. That's why even I've argued in the past that Sobek almost needs to get nerfed because his ability is just so incredibly strong.
You know what else is strong? A Loki when you have Hasted Fatalis and your opponent is at 12.
Oh my gosh. That top deck. So the only thing that could potentially save Singularity would like have to be some sort of heal annihilation play. But would that even help him though? Actually, I take that back. I don't think he has any other play.
Beastable used the Wind Demon there to get it up to 5 health, so it does not die to annihilation. That's so smart. And oh my god, the Celestial Armor comes down?
The Discover for the win, Singularity to live another turn. And that is why Discover cards are such an impactful, like, it's RNG, yes, but it can save you, like, in these situations when we are sure that Singularity does not own any type of Celestial Armor, as is a very niche and underused spell. But in this case, that Discover is actually going to save him the game.
That was so clutch. And Beastable knows that he has a second one in his hand as well, so he can play it by 2 turns here. And I don't think Beastable has any outs here. He has, if he has a Chaos Ball, that could have silenced the stone.
At this point, Loki's main value comes from the fact that he's pretty hard to remove off the board the turn he's played. So when you get these situations where, oh no, Loki's exposed, and you can't really kill Summoning Stone at all, actually you can't even touch a Summoning Stone, how do you win? And with Beals, I don't think there is a way to win currently. He would need some sort of insane RNG plus a good amount of misplays on Singularity's part. But, you know, Singularity was able to survive, fight out the fight out the early game and not die, and I think we're going to see Singularity profit off that.
Yeah, he has lethal here with the top deck of Focus Blast. What a game.
What a game. Discovering for the win. I'm sure Beals is frustrated as heck right now, dealing with a RNG draw. Simbreed, give us a quick rundown on that game.
I mean, I think both players play great. Beastable kept the pressure up all the time and almost killed Singularity there with the Loki, like an OTK Loki style. But yeah, Thoth is just one hell of a card.
You are certainly right on that. Well, stay tuned, guys. We'll be bringing you Game 2 right after this, with Singularity up 1 on Bleezebulb. Hello, everybody. A little bit of technical difficulties there. It is your host, a Comcast employee with Sinbreed beside me. Yes, I drink a lot of water today. Leave it at that. The Mayan Odin matchup is something of a legend, Sinbreed. Because Mayan, well, I mean, first of all, the Wheelix right there is pretty spunky in the first place, but you know, Mayan does have this innate a lot of control, especially via X-Ball and even Kabrakin. So if you are Beelzebub, how do you get to those Summoning Stone?
Well, he does have the Runestone of Ire here. So that's a good start in giving everything you have haste. And he does have the Ymir, who is probably one of the best like Runestone of Ire charge unit that you can have, except for the Loki, as we see in the set as well. So, but first you need to take care of this Avielix, who is just wrecking his aggressive units right now.
And I will say, even back when Wheelix was a 2-1, she was still good at killing a bunch of low units when your opponent's trying to smork, because the first thing we can notice is that Beals chose not to respect the Wheelix, and right now Wheelix is sitting on the board, perfectly healthy, perfectly harmless. The only out is him pretty much almost wasting his turn and using both his units, plus, you know, the 2 mana, to get the job done. And instead, we're going to see the exact opposite. No, I'm staying corrected. He will, in fact, trade. And this is bad for him, though. This is bad for Beals, because Beals, when you are playing an aggressive style Norse deck, you cannot afford to take off turns, take off days. You have to constantly pelt their Summoning Stone. And with a Bracken on the stone, Beals has no other option but to play his big minions, his minions he needs in the backline, which is going to actually result in a lot of pain for him, because now he can't access the Summoning Stone.
No, and he needs one more turn to kick off the Runestone plus Ymir to basically shut down the Kabrakin here.
Definitely. But unfortunately, Kabrakin is, in my opinion, the strongest 4-drop in the game. His effect is enormous. A nice blight actually coming out there, but quickly back to what I was saying. His effect's enormous, he's extremely hard to kill, and 2 damage on your Summoning Stone every time you play a card and every time he attacks is nothing to sneeze at.
Definitely not. It's a very, very fast clock. Like, you can almost say that he does 4 damage until it's your next turn, like usually. Sometimes it's 6, and that adds up very, very quickly. So we see here, he might go for a Runestone here plus Ymir. He does have the 7 mana, so he could go for it and just try to shut down this Kabrakin here. He also has the Answers here, so he could go for the Silence play as well. There's a lot of different things he can do here, but he does only have one spot around his Summon Stone that's not gonna get affected by the Kabrakin.
And right there, we're gonna see just how potent Kabrakin is. No matter what happens, he's just putting a massive effect, whether he's stunned. Every effect except for Banish, you know, Kabrakin's still going to be outputting that damage for time they play a card.
Yeah, exactly. But he only gets one use of this the stone here, I believe. Singularity, a veteran player, he's most definitely just going to take it out here. It's one of the best cards that Beelzebub can have in play at this point. Just give charge to all of your units here. So I believe it's going to get taken down here.
And, I mean, so there's actually a bit of almost a preemptive Razor Graves. Usually we see Razor Graves in a situation where it's constantly, like, you want to have a good board for it. But it doesn't even matter, because Beals is just going to lose. Singularity taking the set 2-0 by storm. Sinbreed, is this a error on Beals' part, trying to run this aggressive Norse deck when it's simply not in the meta currently? Or is this just Singularity just outplaying Beals in every aspect? Because 2-0 on a very high quality player like Beals, we don't see that every day.
No, I think he's trying to metagame the opponents here. Like, we saw last tournament, last week, there was a lot of control decks getting played, and I think he just wanted to, like, sneak under those control decks, get those, like, almost free wins with a very aggressive Norse deck. But Singularity had none of it. He said, "Just let me port my 2/7 at your stone, and just pound it basically to pieces."
Well, that was certainly a set, especially when Singularity just he played perfectly, I guess. So yeah, Singularity 2-0 is going to move on. Stay tuned, ladies and gents. We'll bring you the And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Just like I promised, I'm an honest man. Is your host a Comcast employee alongside me is Sinbreed. We're seeing a fairly aggressive game, Mayan into Egyptian. Now, Sinbreed, tell me about this player matchup, Mr. C4 v Cole.
I mean, we have the PAX champion, Fable Mr. C4, playing Alpage here, versus the runner-up of the last Hyros Weekly Tournament, Cole. So, I think the Mayan is favored here because the Raw does not have a lot of like cards to deal with if you get some zombies on the board, to be honest here. So, like a Racing Ray would be
Khepri,
big.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like the only thing they have, right?
Yeah.
And Annihilation, of course.
Yeah, and you're exactly right on that. They only have 3 cards to wipe a board of 1/1s. Besides, I guess if you count Bastet, but nobody counts Bastet. So what it comes down to is the opponent, or Cole, he has to decide a couple things here. A, how he's going to play the game, or B, how he's going to like attempt to clear the board effectively, but not leaving himself open to like a lack of resources, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think he has to play the Khepri here just to clear out this Surtur and, well, now a 2/1 zombie.
I would say the Khepri play is the play I would do personally, and I don't think it's the best of plays. I don't think it's the worst of plays. I think it's something you kind of have to do, and the point is that Khepri's also 1/4, meaning he's great at taking out other zombies. He does a really good job of that. He's not super tanky for the 4-drop, obviously, as we see a Cabrakan come down here, but he's perfectly fine at taking down the small.
Yeah, definitely. And we see here he could go to draw a card here if you want to play the Sacred Warrior and just heal up the Khepri or the Stone here. Or can go for a War Behemoth.
I think War Behemoth is the play. I mean, if I was Cole, I'd almost be a bit too scared. I may almost consider executing the Cabrakan, because while the Mayan Pantheon does have quite a bit of executable targets that are dangerous, Cabrakan is this card that you're gonna expect to handle. You're gonna say, okay, I think I can handle this guy, and then you're gonna realize very, very quickly after he deals countless numbers of damage to your Summoning Stone, okay, that was not the right play. Should have killed it.
Yeah. That happens a lot. Like it does look like kind of harmless as a 2/7. Like okay, it looks like a big defensive unit, but like its offense is the real deal. And I think the Cole might actually try to invite Mrs. C4 into the Summoning Stone here, just to draw some cards from the War Behemoth.
While I see that as being a possible play, I don't think that's actually intentional, especially as the Decay is going to come out. So I want to point out the deck that Mr. C4 is kind of running here. We've seen a Suitor, which is one of my favorite drops, especially for Mayan, and an Elder Harpy. So far it looks pretty standard, but if you notice what he's doing is he ignored the Khepri, which is definitely the play I would do myself. But on top of that, he's kind of hitting the Summoning Stone. He's not afraid of the Sobex. He's not afraid of the heal, Raw, Thoth, Wombo combos. So it almost tells you Mr. C4 has a single game plan in mind. Let's get in and get out. Because Mayan, while they can find a lot of success in the late game, we've seen more recently because of cards like Thoth that it becomes incredibly difficult to deal with a Raw in the late when you're getting 6 damage on a unit you just played.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Also, one of the things is, like, if you want to put your Cabrakan at one spot on the map, you want to put it exactly where it is right now. Right in front of the Summoning Stone. Basically shuts down, like, everything at, what's called, except the 3 back rows when Cole is going to summon something here. So, it denies Cole a lot of space.
It denies him a lot of space, but on top of it, putting him in that aggressive row means that if Cole has a play and he says, I want to play this aggressively, he kind of can't, to be honest, because now he's in a situation where if he places a unit, it takes 2 damage, and on top of it, he has 2 damage ready to smack it. We're going to see the Camazotz top deck, which is I would take that any day, you know, Camazotz being a beefy minion with charge, especially when you're at the opponent's Summoning Stone.
Yeah, definitely. And you have the decay as well, so if you have like a Cabrakan or a Harpy in play, probably Cole is gonna try to take out those cards first and maybe leave your zombies. And if Mr. C4 can like exploit that and get some extra power and toughness on the Camazotz, it can be a big deal.
You know, Cabrakan almost reminds me of that new Hindu card that we just saw got revealed, where your opponent, or like not even Hindu card, the new card, the new unit is revealed, where your opponent can only play 1 card per turn, because that's what Cole's up against right now. He can't afford to say, okay, I'm just gonna chill back here and play my cards, because he can't. He's taking 2 damage. Like, look, already a 4/3 Sobek. I mean, 4/3 Sobek, a 4/3 Anubis, and Anubis is one of the prime cards of the Egyptian Pantheon that's gonna put you in work.
Yeah, definitely. Like, already getting those 2 damage on it is huge. Like, we can see here that he could go for attack it with the Cabrakan next turn and then Xbalanque Sun, and that is going to take it out. And like,
Depending. Oh yeah. Continue.
no, I was just gonna finish off with just depending on what he draws, of course. We'll see here.
And I was actually about to say the same thing. Depending on what he draws, I think the play could easily be X-Ball, but now Fire Giant's seeming relatively appealing, taking out the Anubis and leaving Cabrakan to do more damage to the stone. And this is what I was talking about earlier, how dangerous a Cabrakan on the field is. Because if you see right here, right, Cole, or I guess Cole still has that Execute in hand. He hasn't touched it. But look at how much value he's gotten off of Cabrakan. He's literally dealt 9 damage himself, or like around 9 damage himself, for a 4-drop. And he's sitting unscathed. But you guys get what I mean there. He's just such a volatile 4-drop, and now he's actually done even more damage. He's literally, Cabrakan himself has brought down the entire Egyptian front line by doing, wait for it, absolutely nothing. Just sitting there. That's all he had to do.
He's been attacking as well, man. You have to give him credit.
He's been attacking, yeah, but every time member Cole plays a card, he takes that damage, and 2 damage. You may sneeze at saying, oh, it's whatever, but it's the same concept with Carrier Behemoth. It racks up. More damage there.
Yeah.
Now he's at 12 health. This is nutty. It's nutty, man.
Yeah, and it's at the same time, like, C4 is putting out, like, almost bigger targets for Cole that he wants to go for every single time as well. So he's like, oh, there's a Fire Giant, but I really want to take care of this Cabrakan, but I can't take care of the Cabrakan because I need to deal with the Fire Giant.
Curses!
Well, ladies and gents, it is turn 8, and the Cabrakan is finally being dealt with, kind of. And that just goes to show how dangerous Cabrakan is if you leave it, and that's kind of what's happened here. We know that Mr. C4 has got answers galore. I think this is honestly Mr. C4's game to lose at this point. He has like a Blade Master and a Camazotz in hand. The only thing that would possibly save Cole is a absolutely insane Annihilation. But even then, he has to deal damage to Cabrakan, who's sitting there perfectly healthy right now.
Yeah, he does have the Fire Giant right now, so he could bring down, let's see. Yeah, he can bring down both the Cabrakan and the Blade Master into that range, but he's doing it a lot of cost because he has 6 damage on the board as well. So he's almost have to kill something here.
He has to do something, especially for the fact that Mr. C4 has the Camazotz in hand, which is actually, fun fact, my favorite legendary in this game, because the charge for a 5 damage is absolutely devastating when you're summoning stones at such low health. So you're actually going to see a bit of a different play than we both anticipated. We're going to see the Blade Master come out. You know, the Blade Master being a fairly strong, obviously fairly strong 7-drop, more along the lines of it just being fairly oppressive and saving you in situations such as these.
Yeah. We'll see another Blade Master top deck as well. So all them charge cards. Does he want to go for the Cannon Slots here or the Blade Master? Looks. I think there's gonna be a Cannon Slots coming out here.
I think it's a Cannon Slots as well. Does he have? Oh, he's one off lethal.
Yeah.
And at this point, it doesn't even matter because he has X-Ball to finish up the game. Unless Cole can get an insane heal off right now, which I guess at this point he can't. It's not possible because he'd have to kill Camazotz and Cabrakan. So this game is as good as over. So, Simbreed.
Well, he can heal and draw 2 cards here.
He could, but unless it saves a whole ton of damage. Remember, he can X-Ball and Blade Master next turn, just for a complete ponage. You catch my
Yes, but let's see. He could have. No, it cannot body block all 3 lanes. No, he cannot. So yeah, this.
He has to kill. He has to kill the Cabrakan if he's gonna do anything, and that's excluding the fact that we know he has the X-Ball on store.
Yeah.
And that is gonna be game, yes. So where did Cole go wrong, Simbreed?
I feel like just like he didn't take care of the Cabrakan for the longest time. The Cabrakan did like, I don't know, almost all the damage on the summoning zone. So I think that's his biggest mistake this game. What would you say?
I would generally agree. I think not executing the Cabrakan the turn it was played was his hands down his downfall. Hands down his downfall. It's just what it came also down to is him ignoring the Cabrakan. He could have. There's a lot of ways you can kill a Cabrakan besides spells, or even silences, and he chose not to do that. And obviously, you know, Cole did take the L for it, but he can still redeem himself because we're going on to game 2. Cole down. Well, actually, Fable Mr. C4 up 1 and Cole at 0. Will we see the comeback? Stay tuned to find out. We're back, and this is Comcast employee. Alongside me is Simbreed for the second game in the set for Mr. C4 v Cole. We're going to see Cole on the Odin here, Mr. C4 on the Bologna. Historically, this matchup's been actually really tough for Odin to win, just because of the amount of elimination, right, that comes out of the Roman Pantheon via spells such as Rain of Arrows and even Venus. But it seems to me right now that we're going to see actually a fairly aggressive start out of Cole and a fairly responsive start out of C4.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see, like, we see a Cupid here, and I know Candy did run Cupid in his OTK Bologna deck last tournament, so I'm really hoping for an OTK, but the Sylvanas draw
And we
said
will
no.
not find those.
No,
Yes.
I'm disappointed in you,
I was about
C4.
to say, if C4 is running OTK, you know I'm gonna be all over that. But I think this is definitely the much safer play of choosing not to. And I want to actually talk about Radtasker for a second. You know, he's this drop that's interesting to watch in action, but morally undervalued. Just like the Cabrakan we saw last game, if you let the rat go, he will single-handedly cause you so much pain and angst trying to kill this rat here. That being said, though, Cole did inevitably, I mean, like, it got silenced quickly because C4 is saying, no, I'm not having any of that of what happened last game. And the second rat coming down again.
Yeah, he only had 2 cards left in the hand though, so if C4 can stabilize here, he's going to be in a very good position going forward in this match, and he does have the Rain of Arrows if he wants to take care of the 4 straight away. Also have the Blink plus Shackles play open to him.
Obviously, when you have this many plays, it comes down to what's the best play. And for Mr. C4, I can't actually say as certain as I usually would like to, because there's actually a bunch of options here, you know? Like, you could even do something funky like Elder Harpy into moving a unit, or like move the rat back and then play Elder Harpy. The point is, he's got options, right? He's got a lot of options. It's just, how does Mr. C4, or what does Mr. C4 value the most? And we are going to see he's going to value elimination the most this time, which is definitely what I'd probably do myself.
Yeah, the problem with this play is, or not the problem, but like the thing that's gonna backfire is just that he gets to attack with both of them anyway, and he has to invest another 2 mana next turn just to blink them away from each other. I was a bit interested to see if maybe blinking forward the Statue of Ire and try to blink the rat back and shackle it to death next turn. Would have been a line of play maybe, but also you can get an Elder Harpy on the board as well to maybe trade with one of the units in play as well.
I will say right now it's kind of scary for Cole, right? Because Cole sees a potential lethal, but we know Mr. C4's got actually a very strong way to deal with that situation. What's going to come down to, however, is how aggressive Cole chooses to be, and he chooses to be very aggressive, attempting to take out his opponent, Mr. C4, Fable, and one fell swoop here.
Yeah, but C4 is going to clean everything up here except for the Runestone with 1 Rain of Arrows here. Just because the Rain of Arrows is going to kill the 4, and that will do the shackle damage to Radtasker as well, killing it, dealing 3 damage. So Cole hasn't won this yet. It still looks pretty good for him if he can like top deck a little bit here, and C4 needs to like shore up these 3 lanes in the middle here.
The MVP for Cole this game has got to be Runestone of Ire, because we don't really take a look at it, but it's when you understand that, yo, wait a minute, all of his units get charged, which is that alone generally a 2-mana spell that sits in your hand, whereas now it's a ridiculous ability. I mean, he has a ton of plays here. I think the best one would be to do what he's doing actually currently, which, or not, I stand corrected, is Cole just going to try to smorg it for the win? Because we know he's got a Loki in his deck. Because if you're running aggressive Odin, you really have to do that nowadays. However, it comes down to, does Cole think he can pull off the damage without it? Because, you know, it's a 1 in a 25 chance of guess, well, you get what I mean. It's a legendary. You only get 1 of them in this deck. So Cole's gonna play a bit safer, you know, a bit more conservative, saying, hey, listen, I have you at 8 health. Roman has no access to heals, except for a Blade Master, I think.
Yes, I think Cole made a small misplay there. I would place the Hell in the back line and keep sending 3 free charge Cursed Warrior at his Summoning Stone there. Just like keep sending them. Because it has charge, so you can, like, if you wanted to trade there, you could trade the Harpy for a Soldier. And he would force C4 to have Bludgeon, or he would almost die just trying to get to that Hell in the back line.
That's actually what I would have done is leave the Hell in the back, just like actually you said. But you know, I'm not sure if that was an error on Cole's part or if it was a attempt to play aggressively and win the game quickly. I will say his hand's kind of bad right now. The double Crippling Curse and Freya, like Freya's fine in and of itself, but that 2 damage can't hit the Summoning Stone anymore. So he has 3 damage to Smork to face, and that's currently it. So if you are Cole, Simbreed, how do you get past this? I tell you one thing though, it's not by having your Runestone of Ire die.
No, I think it has to start with drawing Loki here, get that 6 extra damage on the stone, and try to chip in with your Cursed Warriors. And like, he does have Freya in hand, so he can open up a path afterwards as well to try and get those like last points of damage through. I think that is his way to victory here.
The Inferno Cannon's actually kind of an interesting card. I want to talk about it for a second because we don't see it too often because of a couple reasons. The first thing, you know, being a 2-mana drop, it's insanely statted, but it can't move by itself. And if you're Bologna, it makes sense to have it in your deck because you can actually move the unit directly. But being a 2-drop means that Mr. C4 is taken into account, hey, I can top deck this at the worst possible time and lose the game because of it. Instead of that deck slot going to a higher cost, higher value card. But Mr. C4, I guess, chose not to take that option, and he says, you know what, I want a 2-drop. What do you think of this, Simbreed?
I actually really like the cannon, just because of the interactions with Bologna. If you have, for say, a Venus on your side, the cannon like does 3 damage if it doesn't kill with the 2 damage at first. It knocks it away and deals an extra Venus damage, and it has Pardon if that happens. So I really like the cannon because it's also something you can play on turn 1. Say to your opponent, yeah, you can't aggress me, I have a cannon here, and whatever you send to my stone, I'm just gonna kill it anyway in the early game, so I really like it.
Obviously, I feel a bit differently, but besides the point, Cole can go for a different play. I literally could bet money on the fact that Cole was going to go for Freya into just smorking it, because that seems like what he's been doing recently. But it turns out he's going to go for the Scotty play instead, falling prey to the Fire Giant. I say unfortunately here because this is really Cole's only out here. Remember, if he loses this game, he's out of the tournament, and Mr. C4 will move on. And that's one of these things where Cole is going to try to progress. Obviously, how do you do it though? Blade Master will help, but it's not going to seal the deal. I think the Freya has to come out here.
I don't know. Maybe if it goes for the Freya,
Curse is possible.
Yeah, he does not get through with his Calder here, even if he Freyas. So I think I would just go for Blade Master.
No, if he Crippling Curses, then Freyas, that'll work. If he Crippling Curses, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crippling Curse into Freya, into another 2-drop to try to finish off the job. I think that's his only play. That's the only way I see it, because, and this is actually pretty, choosing not to go for the Freya, holding it even longer. I think this is a misplay, Simbreed, because, you know, Freya is a strong 3/3 that has this insane ability, but generally speaking, you know, you want to actually be able to have value for it. And it seems like Cole's is like leading in a situation where he doesn't care about the value of it. He just wants to try to smork with a Blade Master, which is certainly reasonable. But in this case, you know, choosing to actually kill the scratch smorking, he's choosing to kill the Inferno Cannon here.
I do not like that play at all from Carl here. I think he needs to go for the Summoning Stone with everything that he got right now. Because if you go late game versus Bellona, like they have some really, really powerful spells, and you know that he hasn't played any Terra yet, and I do not know any Terra or Bellona player that does not run 2 of those. So this game can run away from Cole before he gets to kill the Summoning Stone here, just because he's playing a little too safe.
I agree with you on that aspect, definitely, but I don't agree with this play from Mr. C4. Playing Sylvanas is smart, but you know, like if yours is Mr. C4, you know your opponent has a Freya somewhere in his deck. But what's interesting to me right now is maybe it's possible that Cole is on that next level. He said, okay, my opponent would bet money right now, or a caster would even bet money that you would play the Freya. But I'm not going to play Freya, so my opponent won't think I have it. Because, you know, the Freya is just going to completely, actually almost win him the game, I would say. But finally Freya comes down. After all this time of holding it carefully, we actually saw this last tournament where holding the very strong spell, such as the Blight or even the Freya here, is actually going to win him the game, possibly.
Yeah, I would have probably just sent my 1-1 to the stone as well here. Put it down to 4. And with the answers in hand, he can go for 2 damage on it and actually hit the stone with that. It does not work like if there would be a minion.
Misplaying there, he didn't play a minion. Or Ensus.
Yeah, he could have played answers. And maybe he wants the surprise factor on C4 here. That might be it.
To each his own, Obviously, Mr. C4 holding on by a single thread, and the Fire Giant's gonna actually seal the deal if Cole obviously sees it. He doesn't. He
What?
misplayed. He missed lethal.
No, he can still play answers.
Oh, well, that's no fun. You got to go with the hero power, man. You got to go with the hero power. Well, I guess Cole not gonna miss lethal after all, even though I got my hopes up for a hilarious end.
Even goes for the buffo, man.
We're gonna see Fable Mr. C4 hitting that F6 button and Cole pulling off the game. So, give me a rundown of that very almost one-sided game.
I would not call it a one-sided game at all. I think that C4 were doing the best they could with the cards that they drew that game. He has some different line of play that he could have done, but I mean, C4 is a tournament champion. He got 2nd place at Valencia, so I mean, I'm gonna trust in like his instincts that he knows what he's doing here.
Obviously, I mean, I feel a bit differently. I feel that Mr. C4 was always on his back leg, and it comes down to I don't think Mr. C4 valued Rainstone efficiently. I don't think he valued it correctly. Obviously, you know, he has the winnings under his belt, so I normally trust him, but this time I think he actually made a small misplay. Well, definitely it's going to be an interesting set so far. It's one game on each Cole and Fable Mr. C4. Guys, stay tuned next game to see the conclusion of this fantastic set. I am back, and so is Sinbreed. It is your host, a Comcast employee alongside me, like I just said 15 seconds ago, is Sinbreed. We're going to see a raw mirror coming out of Mr. C4, Fable, and Cole. So, Sinbreed, I don't play a whole lot of Raw. I make that quite known because I like to spend my time on, like, you crazy cats playing all these Pantheons. So, what's this matchup going to look like for us?
I mean, it's probably gonna look a lot similar like we've already seen in this tournament. There's gonna be a lot of gods. There's gonna be a lot of buffed Sobeks probably, and some Foss like just cleaning the board. So the one who gets the board control first, I would say, is gonna have a huge advantage.
And already seeing the Sobek come out, but to be quickly countered by the Elder Harpy, which means that generally speaking, Sobek can do some shenanigans. Where he'll like one tap a person, then he'll heal up and get a significant buff. But in this case, we're gonna actually see Cole kill the Elder Harpy and not even damage a Summoning Stone. What is going on here, Sinbreed?
Well, he's playing around C4 having his own Sobeks here, or like Foss in the start, or something like that, and Geb as well. Yes, because he does not want C4 to get ahead in like the thing that like makes raw is that you damage Summoning Stone and you heal up and you get like a buffer for your team. And from the looks of it, like Cole right now, he has to like keep this Sobek alive, but I don't think he can at all here.
Keeping the Sobek alive, I do think is impossible in this situation, especially when you consider Cole's hand of being just kind of complete boo-boo. Like, he has no good 4-drop. That's why I was talking about the 4-drop being the most important curve in the game, because it sets up for a really fantastic 5-drop. Cole has nothing. He has absolutely nothing, and Mr. C4 is going to get a beautiful trade with the Elder Harpy. And they could even heal it up for if he wants to potentially draw a card or do some other type of interaction here. And obviously the Elder Harpy going to be taking out the Sobek, like we said. And just like I said with the interactions, we can see that his own Sobek come down with the extra heal.
Yeah, this is what Cole was afraid of here. That C4 had his own Sobek and start buffering it. But a Neef is very good time here, just to put pressure on the Sobek so it cannot move up.
Regardless of whether Mr. C4 silences the Neith or not, we know that Sobek, just like I said, he cannot move up, which is definitely a nice pressure play on Cole's side. However, I would also say if he wants to go for the Geb, he could, and then he could all that surmounting to Mr. C4's got the plays. He's got a nice thick hand, primarily dealt by the Elder Harpies. That ability to card draw instantly is just so valued by nearly every deck. Because back in the day, we got a lot of decks that wouldn't need card draw, but now when we see a lot of these decks coming out with a ton of card draw, the value is just insane.
Yeah, definitely. And we see C4 right now, as well as Cole did in the start of the round, is not going for the Summoning Stone here until he has a clear board advantage that when he can snowball the game. He does not want the Neef to get global range here to start picking off stuff. But like I don't understand, like he doesn't really have anything to pick off from like global range anyway, so I would like him to actually hit the Summoning Stone there.
Fairly interesting Chaos Spawn, because if there's one Pantheon that has a ton of silenceable valued units, it is, in fact, the Egyptian Pantheon. So silencing out a Sobek, while it is definitely one of the targets, your opponent's going to have the Neith. Your opponent's going to be having, even card draw, even like via many different sources. So that Chaos Spawn was actually, I find to be particularly interesting, especially when Mr. C4 is potentially going to Smork face. What is Mr. C4's play here, Sinbreed?
Well, it's hard to say because he doesn't have anything that can reach the Neef right now, and that is the one that he wants to kill. With this, he has to go for the Sacred Warrior here, or else he's going to draw way too many cards here.
I will say the most interesting thing about an Egyptian Mirror is the lack of Summoning Stone hits, in complete and utter contrast to the Norse, side of aspects. We see this weird situation where none of the opponents don't want to hit the Summoning Stone at all because they're too scared about the healing bonus effects, which I think is a testament just to how strong, right? Just to how strong the Egyptian Pantheon is.
Yeah, we're gonna see here if Cole sees the play here with Thoth to take out the Anubis here. Play Thoth, heal up your Neef. Neef gets global range while Thoth deals 2 damage to Geb and Anubis, and Neef can take out Anubis from range here. Looks like he's hovering it here.
He's hovering it because that is the correct play. The only thing that Cole does recognize is that his Thoth will be taking 3 damage to the 5 health, that he has. But I mean, he's also keeping Neef healthy, so I think this is overall a very fantastic play for Cole. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I think it's actually his best possible play, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, from Cole's side of things here, like just looking at the board from his perspective, like C4 has to choose to kill either Neef or Thoth this turn. But as we can see it, C4 does have the Magma Slam in hand, so he can take out both of these if he wants to this turn.
I think that's the play he should do because, killing a Thoth and a Neef is a big step, is a big peg down for Cole, right? Because these are 2 of the most potent cards, 2 of the most potent gods in the Egyptian Pantheon. And having 1 copy of each gone is absolutely devastating.
Yeah. Neef has seen a little less play, though. I haven't seen her a lot in the Egyptian Pantheon, recently. And I think that's also one of the testament that how strong Raw has been in this patch and last patch. Like a 448 global range is not usually good enough to be played in these kind of decks. But I'm glad to see some Neef coming back here.
Neith is an interesting one because you do technically have to spend anywhere from 2 to X amount of mana healing yourself up, and then at that point, then you get that global range. But I really do enjoy seeing these cards we don't see a whole lot of. I still think Neith is definitely one of the strongest cards in the Egyptian Pantheon, but I think she's recently been eclipsed by Thoth. So it is cool to see Cole say, "Hey, I'm gonna bring both these cards into my deck, and we're gonna have a lot of ranged powerhouses."
Yeah, that's actually a very good observation that Thoth has basically taken over the Neef spot in most decks. I haven't really thought about it like that.
We're gonna see Mr. C4's own Thoth, but is it too little too late for Cole? Because once you get a Thoth on board, I think we'll see a Thoth eventually on board. Because as I was saying, once you get a Thoth on board, it seems very one-sided almost. It seems your opponent has no other option but to kill the Thoth. Otherwise, their entire board is just going to get eventually wiped.
Yeah. Oh, playing the Scarab's Blessing on Geb here. I was almost sure that he was going to use that on his Thoth next turn just to keep it safe in the backline, but he's playing a little more aggressive with it and still did not attack the Summoning Stone here.
This is just an awkward, game of cat and mouse, because it's like, I don't think there's ever been a card, or there's ever been a game similar to this, where you're seeing the opponent purposefully not attack for the sake, but I'm not even saying not attack, not a single Summoning Stone. This is turn 9, has been touched by either opponent. It's hilarious, to be honest, because it's such a because generally it's the exact way you lose the game. Instead, they're both trying to win the game via this very interesting situation.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see here. Cole only has Execute, Sacred Warrior, and War Behemoth in his hand. So I think he has some interesting choices to make here. He could go for a Sacred Warrior heal for on Geb after it attacks to draw some more cards, try to find some more action. Just because C4 is up 1 card on him already.
The heal is gonna definitely be good, drawing him a Sobek, which is what you kind of want at this part, right? Because even though he's a 1/3, actually I take that back, it's not what you want at all. I didn't realize that the heal came after, unfortunately, or too little too late. Because whereas Sobek can be a very powerful card, we're not going to see that at all, because 1/3 can easily get shut down by the Geb that has the Scares Busting on it.
Yeah, and he can also put the Sobek in the line. Here. Yeah, exactly. So he gets a double heal and grows his Sobek even more.
Oh my gosh. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is a 2 mana cost unit. That is a 6/8. That's why I personally believe that Sobek's a bit too strong for his curve, right? Because it's a 2 mana 6/8, and I mean, granted, it doesn't exactly work out that way because all the heals he's gotten, but you get my gist though. It's just the value for him is so incredibly strong. Will this be the first Summoning Stone hit of the game?
Looks like C4 is thinking about it.
He's thinking, and he chooses not to. I just want to see who hits the Summoning Stone first. At this rate, it definitely looks like it's going to be Mr. C4, but you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. We see an Execute here. Probably has to be used on the Sobek. It's just gonna get too big unless he does it right now, and like Anubis want to cut it as well here just to lock it down. So I believe he has to execute this turn.
I mean, normally I would say I would never want to execute a Sobek, but a 6/8 Sobek I will execute because those stats are better than a good amount of 7 drops, in fact. However, besides War Behemoth, he doesn't really have much. And I mean, obviously, that's almost a oxymoron because War Behemoth is just such a valued card. But when it comes down to it, Mr. C4 is going to have answers to it, and just drawing cards is good, but it's nowhere near as good as actually having a board state,
Yeah, exactly. And like we can see here that Mr. C4 had drawn 2 more cards than Cull, so he is going to hit Fatigue first. So I do not like if Mr. C4 wanted to. He could just go for this face damage here. He does have the Fire Giant plus Blade Master and Neef. So he's a very, very strong hand, plus the Foth. So I wouldn't mind him drawing a few cards there on the War Behemoth and just push as much face damage as I could.
Come on, hit the Summoning Stone. I just want to see a Summoning Stone hit at this point. Come on.
Yeah, you would. C4, no, you want to.
The amount of patience that these players have is absolutely astounding. They haven't touched each other's Summoning Stone. It's like nothing on the map. It's like C4 and Cole don't even see the enemy Summoning Stone. All they see is just units on the board, and that's what makes this matchup so interesting. Now, obviously, Mr. C4's got a hand of the gods here, a Neef, Blade Master, and Fire Giant, both and all very, very potent in this board state especially. Whereas Cole's only got a Fire Giant and Goobus. Now, generally, you'll never hear me say only a Fire Giant, but in this case, it's exactly what it amounts to, Cole's going to have a rough time trying to come back from this game. Especially with no damage on the enemy Summoning Stone.
Yeah, and the Fire Giant doesn't even kill anything on the board right now. It just hurts. Like, he can take out a Chaos Spawn, that's it. Unless he wants to use his Geb on another Geb and both Fire Imps as well. That's like I haven't seen a weak Fire Giant like this in a forever. Like, C4 is playing this game so beautifully, strategic.
I agree with you in all of its entirety. Yes, Because it's Mr. C4 is saying that he can take his game nice and slow. He's in no rush because he has the board state. However, it's going to come down to what happens when you don't have the board state anymore. What happens when your opponent is able to make the comeback, just like Annihilation. I mean, actually that's Mr. C4's hand, but you know he understands that. Wait a minute, Annihilation can also be in his deck as well. The double imp into the Goobus is going to be the play for C4. Are we finally going to see some Summoning Stone damage, Simbreed?
Probably not. We're gonna see Geb clash into Anubis, and then another Geb kills the other Geb, I believe.
Talk about a rocky situation.
Wow. Okay.
We're gonna see a nice thick board on Mr. C4's part, and actually nothing on Cole's. However, speak of the devil, he did top deck Annihilation. Now, if you play this here, you kill what 4/5 of the board, which is definitely what you want. But it's almost like Mr. C4 is playing with this. He says, you know what, I'm fine with that. Do it. I bait you. Do it. And then he's just going to launch his all-out assault of just constant 4 damage coming out from Blade Master and Neith.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he plays Annihilation here, like C4 is going to heal his Fire Giant. There's no question about it. So Cole plays it down his Fire Giant the turn afterwards, and hits Fire Giant down to 1 HP. I mean, Mr. C4 has not played as an Execute yet, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I was also took me a minute, but I believe you're correct. I would like to believe you're correct at least, because if that's true, then Mr. C4 almost, I would say, has this game with a lock and key. And you know, this is such a tight match here. Both the players being at 1-1, or like what 1 win. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, 1 win, 1 loss. So it's going to be, you know, it's a very close game so far. Both the Summoning Stones are at full health, you know. So obviously, even though the board state is constantly shifting, oh my gosh, Simbreed to happen.
We got a hit on the stone, man.
How many turns in? I don't know. I've been counting. We finally see damage on the Summoning Stone. I want to thank Mr. C4 and Cole for the fantastic game. Show's over, guys. We finally saw some damage on the enemy Summoning Stone. But all jokes aside, getting the Geb for 4 mana, 5/9, I'd take that any day. It's a quality play indeed. And also playing the Neith, it seems almost like Mr. C4 doesn't see his Annihilation coming.
Well, I think he's just telling Cole here, like, if you got an Annihilation, just play it. And he has his own Annihilation, and he still has a big Geb on the board.
A big Geb, but to a Fire Giant, that's a pretty small Geb to be, in fact. Because, you know, besides the heal, obviously, Fire Giant's just gonna smack everything. And, like, it's always cool to see a clash of Fire Giants, but this is gonna be pretty brutal for Mr. C4, having lost his own Fire Giant here. A Magma Slam would be perfect. Actually, no, it wouldn't be perfect. He's gonna need a lot more than that to kill his 5/4.
Well, he does have the Blade Master in hand since some rounds back, so he could just kill it outright here, and start moving up with the Geb as well.
And we're gonna see him do exactly that. Blade Master surviving because of his innate and insane bulk. Bringing up the Geb as well. Mr. C4 having eyes on the prize finally. But is it possible for Cole to stall here? Because we do see Mr. C4 at 7 cards. It's just pretty dangerous. We know that for some reason there are 2 executes within those 7 cards. Unless he's just being a madman not running them.
No, I don't believe Mr. C4 is that kind of madman. At least not yet, I would say. So, and there's another Blade Master as well.
Trying to get that off, pick up. He's gonna actually get the Sobek. I mean, the On Her is gonna die by the Annihilation, and he's gonna bring his something do so low. We're gonna see a good game come out on the side of Cole here. You know, I guess expecting his inevitable demise, which according to this board state, proves true. I will say, I think Mr. C4 made a bit of a small misplay there by choosing not to smork, because there is a time to smork and a time not to smork, and I think that was the time to smork. But it's almost would go to show, even though Cole's a new player, we're seeing Mr. C4 have all this respect for him, taking things nice and slow, making sure that, you know what, I don't care what happens, I'm not gonna lose this game based off a overly aggressive play.
Yeah, if I were Mr. C4's shoes, I would have probably been happy with that annihilation, just killing the Anhur and then just go face damage. Just because I have the Blade Master in hand as well, so that's like 4 surprise damage.
No reason for Mr. C4 to play the Magma Slam, because he knows that using that spell now is not going to actually benefit him, because he can simply use it next turn. Because, both Vargents have already been played. Cole can heal up, right? But that'll bring him down to 9 health. He trades there. I don't think it's going to be enough to win him the game, though.
No, I don't think so. And there's the Execute as well. I think you execute here and just go face and use the... Okay, he's gonna turn this into a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock, just because he used the Magma Slam there.
Mr. C4 playing almost like Kenny, slow and steady. Like, literally, like, I'm pretty sure Mr. C4 could have won by now, but choosing to play so incredibly carefully, he's going to actually drop both his executes that were just AFK the entire game. Coming down to both players having a lack of cards here, is it possible for Cole to win this game by stalling out? Super brief.
Well, it all depends on what he has left in his deck. I believe we haven't seen... Have we seen one Thoth maybe from Cole?
We've seen one Thoth on Cole's part, and that's it, I do believe. And I'm not sure about Mr. C4. All I know is that Mr. C4 is down to 2 cards.
Yeah,
obviously we're going to see the execute, and then we're going to see the Neath come out. And he's got to play it aggressively, in order to get the damage out from it.
There's the Thoth, but he has only 3 cards left as well, so this looks like he's going to go to a fatigue battle, maybe. And the C4 has a lot of health on his Summoning Stone. He hasn't taken a single damage
you
yet.
could almost say he has full health on his Summoning Stone. The double execute finally going to probably put the nail in the coffin for Cole here. Just because, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, normally I'd say fatigue damage is a very, very important factor. But it doesn't matter for Mr. C4 because, his Summoning Stone is at 25 health. So, and that's, besides any health buffs, that's the highest it can possibly be. The Khepri is going to do absolutely nothing, especially with it on her. So, good set, good game. Simply wrap up that game for us, real quick.
Well, it took 12 turns for C4 to hit the first damage on the stone. Pretty much wraps up, I think.
Pretty much wraps up, I think. That was certainly one of the most interesting sets and games I've seen in a very long time. Kind of going back and forth, and then it becoming the most awkward stare down of the I'd say the tournament so far, to seeing no opponent touch the Summoning Stone, which was certainly interesting. So we're gonna see Mr. C4 move on, our past winner. Cole certainly played expertly well. Very close game in the end, even though it would not seem that way since C4 had the 25 health Summoning Stone. It was honestly just a battle for board control. That's exactly what happened. Stay tuned, ladies and gents. We'll bring you the next game moment.
Welcome back. Here I am, Jake in the slow zone. Sinbreed for the semi-final. Got Arlo versus Federation. So, man, that was a pretty tense game last game, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can say that. It was a very long outrun game from C4, just taking it nice and slow. So I hope we get some more action-packed matches here from Arlo and Federation.
Well, I mean, talk about speaking too soon. I mean, we've just seen a Raise the Grave come out straight away.
Yeah, getting the 2 4-4s out like really fast. But Federation has a good answer in the Cupid here and can start to pick them off one by one.
Yeah.
He could Blood Bond here just to take care of that and hope that it's the stun one that oh, he can move up, I believe, and attack, yeah. And then he plays the Blood Bond here.
I think that's probably the play that I would go for.
Yeah, if he doesn't, like, the Cupid is just gonna pick those off by just moving away. Yeah,
And that's exactly what he's done, yeah.
So he really wants to see a second Raise the Grave here.
I mean, that's probably the most aggressive game we've seen so far, or the most aggressive play.
Yeah, definitely. And he is locking down like all the edges of Federation's Summoning Stone as well. So he has to spawn somewhere, like every single spawn point right now is in range of his 4-4 zombie as well. So he has a tough decision. I think it's going to be a War Behemoth here. You just draw some extra cards and it survives attack from the 4-4. Okay, yeah, I like this play. It puts the 4-4 away and you get to use your leader ability for free.
That's a good move, yeah.
We also have one of the new cards in the hand of Federation called Advanced Maneuver. So it swaps the position of 2 units. Interesting to see how Federation is going to use this card actually.
There we have the Raise the Grave again.
Yes, the Barter Soul to get back the Blood Bond and the Raise the Grave. Here for 1-1, only a 1-1 zombie to get back those 2 really good cards. And I believe Arlo hasn't put down a single like minion except for zombies and like Raise the Grave here.
Yeah, I mean, that's working out well for him so far. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
This is where Hutch and the zombie-based build definitely doesn't come up well against Bellona. I mean, sort of her pushing away that what was a 4-4 and now a 7-7 has definitely helped. Then dropping in the Behemoth there just to keep it at bay.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, he's not looking to silence. He's going to let Federation draw a card here from the War Behemoth. Plays on War Behemoth as well here.
I'm not too sure what Federation is gonna play here to turn this around.
No, I think, like, I don't see that he has any outs really here. Because the zombies are going to connect to the stone, and as well with the War Behemoth right now. He could play the Mercury at the top of his zombie storm, but no, he's gonna
That's
give up
it,
here
it's
and
good
give the game to Arlo. Wow, that was
Man,
that was
what
what
game we have tonight.
yeah. Arlo really ran away with that game with a quick Raise the Grave on 2 zombies and then just getting it back and just keeping board control there.
Yeah, I mean that was a real nice example of showing sort of the zombie rush really working maximum.
Definitely.
Cool. So I
So
think
we-
we're going to take a break for a second whilst we queue up the next match. So we'll see you in a second. So here we are with the second match of the set. Got Federation going Nuwa and Arlo with Ra again. I think we've already seen him play this.
Yeah, I believe we played this when we were spectating versus erratic.exe. So, and Federation, I saw a Suku in his hand as well. So he's has some beast theme in his deck, and I really like that.
Yeah, I mean we've got the White Tiger there as well.
Yeah, so it looks like he has some mid-range beast with some different gods maybe here. Interested to see what he has, what other cards he's put in his deck here.
Yeah.
Looking over at Arlo, we see double Magma Slams and double Blade Master. So he just want to get to the late game here and slam the Blade Masters down.
Just draw a Fist of the Gods. I mean, what do you how do you think of that card? You know, is that a card that you'd work into your deck?
No, I have not. I haven't played with that card at all. I think in my deck since it got into the game, but I mean, I might try it out. We've seen Singularity use it as well, so it cannot be bad. It draws your card as well, so
yeah. And I mean, you just got the Fire Giant from. I mean, again, it's sort of, you know, it's really relying on that later game, but it's not a bad card to have.
No, definitely not. And like, also with the stun, it's like lets you trade really well with your units as well. And it's only 1 mana, so you usually have that available to you. And here we're gonna see the first Suku of the live stream as well.
There we go. And he has drawn the Basilisk as well, so you know, I mean, as you said, this is definitely a very beast-heavy deck.
Yeah, exactly. And oh, now he has to choose between the Magma Slamming the Oogway and playing a Bastet here. I think he has to Magma Slam the Oogway, or is this going to be too big?
I mean, that's going to cause him some real problems, I think, if he doesn't deal with that now. I mean, alternatively, blocking it until the next turn could work. I would have been more comfortable with the Magma Slam.
Yeah, I think you had to deal with it and like not bet that Federation has, like, he has a lot of cards in his hand. Like he's going to have one answer or two even.
And that's it. I mean, that's why I would have dealt with that there. As we just saw, sort of, he's opened up the path and he's got the Uguay right down there now.
Yeah,
and that's pushing some big damage.
Yeah, and he has the Magma Slam plus Bastet this turn. And hopefully he can come back with some Blade Masters. Oh, I didn't see the Annihilation in his hand, so he got a really good value from that.
Wow, there, yeah. I mean, that was a real swinger there.
Yeah, but the Basilisk plus Suku is probably the play here, just to go for the real fast. I was going to say real fast, like 6 damage, and put him almost on a 2-turn clock here, but he wants a card draw here.
I will defend this land from those who intend to destroy.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to play. I think what you were saying with the Basilisk and the Suku would have been better. I don't really feel like he needs the card draw at the moment, but maybe he feels different.
Yeah, I do not like that Hoyi placements either. If Arlo does not have a Blade Master there, it's going to be out of range from the Summoning Stone as well there. So that was a little weird in my opinion, but we'll see. Maybe Federation just made a misclick there.
Hmm.
And here comes the Big Daddy Fire Giant.
The Fire Giant, yeah. I mean, there's absolutely.
So he could have a lot of charge damage in 2 turns here if he would have gone for a Suku Basilisk play last turn.
But then we've got the Execute that's just drawn, and that's it. The Fire Giant's out.
Yeah, and yeah, he has a lot of options in his hand as well. He has a Geb, Sobek, Bastet, Fire Giant, another Blade Master. Like, he has a lot of decisions to make every single turn, moving forward here. How much does he want to commit to the board against like Guan Yu or something like that. And one important thing, has he kept track of Federation if he's been using his leader ability?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite surprised we haven't seen the Beast synergy come out yet.
Yeah, same here. And
Make a wish.
I mean, he's holding this Suku. I would like to just start being really aggressive with it.
I mean, in all fairness, I mean, at the moment, he hasn't got... He's on 21 still. He's putting the pressure on. I mean, that...
Yeah, but in my opinion, like Raw, if you let Raw get to the late game, it's going to overpower your new deck if it's this mid-range Shi, like we've seen here.
Yeah.
Go forth.
So coming out with some Crescent Blade, turns it down to 6 mana. All right. Oh, he's running Invigorate. Interesting. So, Invigorate is one of the new cards that came into this latest patch. So, it's given a friendly unit +1/+1 for each beast you control. So, this might be the thing that he's been waiting on.
Really take that beast synergy to the next level. I mean, if we see a nice combo coming out here, you know, I mean, this could be a play that's going to swing the game.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not miscounted, that Suku can attack for... It could attack for 9 if it doesn't take out the... Oh, this could be a huge turn here. And the Dragon King is drawn as well here.
Oh, man.
So he can play Suku Basilisk, put Invigorate on the Suku. That's gonna attack for 9 damage, just because it gets +3 from all the beasts. And the Basilisk gives it a +1 attack as well. It's gonna put Arlo on a 2-turn clock it has to deal with, and then you have a Dragon King to follow up. I think Federation has to go for lethal in 2 turns.
Do you think he's gonna last those 2 turns? I mean, what have we got from Arlo?
He doesn't have much in his he has a Geb, so like a Capri plus Last Breath.
Yeah.
So okay, he's going for this stone here, and there's the Invigorate.
There it is.
I believe he can do this just because that Arlo has 9 damage on board right now, and I believe he played... Yeah, that was his second Blade Master as well. And we can see the Fire Giant, so this probably does not have any more charged damage.
No, I mean, he's got to deal with this right now.
Yeah, and he also used both Magma Slams as well, so like that was a safe play to make from Federation side.